Having worked in the school now for 7 years within behaviour, I do believe that the adults, the teachers, all staff within the school have a responsibility for whole school behaviour. I think there has to be an acceptance that every adult within that school plays a role within whole school behaviour. And I think that a consistent approach from all the staff in key areas can seriously reduce low-level disruption, which causes most of the problems within our schools. I'd like to sort of walk through some tools and some techniques which, if put together as a package, can assist in starting your lesson off calm. The only way to deliver outstanding education, teaching and learning, is to ensure that your class is calm. So we start right from the beginning. Meet and greet. Should you or should you not be ready outside your classroom to meet the students that are coming to your lesson? I'm a firm believer that that's the start of your lesson, to be on the door, meet and greet with them. Have them lined up as best you can. If it's a new group, this may well be difficult because they are going to play up for you. They will play up for you. You know they're going to play up for you. We know they're going to play up for you. But there are ways to deal with that. This is your first opportunity with a new group to let them know that you are fair, respectful, but firm, and that you have an understanding and a consistent approach. So my advice to the first meet and greet with a new group is don't try and put them in alphabetical order. Don't try and hassle them too much. Let them gather together because you will learn an awful lot from that group. If it's the first time you've met them, they will arrive at slightly different times. They will arrive in slightly different moods. Some of them will be a little bit more loud, some will be a little more boisterous than others. This is a fantastic opportunity for you to start to gauge the peer groups within your new class. And they haven't even set foot in your classroom yet, but you're watching and you're learning and you're listening. And it's a great opportunity to use when we come on to some of the other tactics as well, and hopefully you'll see how it all joins up. All the time you're thinking outside the box now, what can I gain by this first meet and greet? So don't rush this one, don't rush them into the classroom, take your time. Never shout at them, never raise your voice. And I say that now about this particular tactic, but I'll also say that about everything I talk through without. The minute we shout at a student, you have lost their respect. They don't deserve to be shouted at, but neither do you deserve to be shouted at. So we'll look at ways of minimizing that on both sides, really. So the first thing that you need to do there is to bring them to order. Now, some schools have a countdown system from 3 to 1, from 5 to 1. I actually advocate just the raised hand and looking at the students. This may feel very uncomfortable to you at first, and it does take a while for you to get comfortable with it. It does take a while for the students to get comfortable with it, but I assure you that they will. So on this very first occasion, you raise your hand. You will then have to talk to your students in order to tell them what you are doing, and very clearly and calmly what your expectations are whenever you raise your hand. Now, again, some will respond very quickly and enthusiastically, others won't. This is another thing for you to note and log. This is you starting to build your professional attitude towards your classroom and how you're going to manage it. They will all quieten down eventually. You may, like I say, have to talk to them through this process to make sure the expectation is very clear. Once you've got them in that state where they are focused on you, it may not be the strength of focus you particularly want, but it's a good start, it's your first one. Make sure what you expect of them then when they walk through that classroom door is very clear. Whole school behaviour is the responsibility of all. If every teacher is stood by their door, then most corridors have teachers stood outside at classroom changeovers, when students are going out for break, when students are going out for lunch, and when they're coming back. Those are all flashpoints. So what do we want them to do next when they move into the class? Well, a to-do exercise, I believe, is the best way to engage your class from the minute they walk in. People might say, what is a to-do exercise? Again, it's very difficult for me to be overly prescriptive about this. You need to find out whether there's any guidance from your own school. Some schools mean to do exercises have to be part of your curriculum, part of what you're teaching, whether it's maths, English, science, whatever. Some schools actually just ask that your to-do exercises can be creative. I actually prefer that approach, but you must always go really with what the policy of your own school is.